Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be playing as the Roman Republic and seeing if I can win the second Punic... Second? Or, sorry, seeing if I can win the First Punic War from the Roman side. Now, in this game, or in this map actually, Rome starts off weaker than Carthage, so this initial fight over the island of Sicily is actually quite a struggle. Um, my ally of Syracuse has already taken out Acragas, but the Carthaginians are still on the island. And so I sent up troops. I basically try to recruit as much as I can to try beat back the Carthaginians. And the Carthaginians even managed to liberate Acragas, but I managed to quickly reverse that liberation. And so, taking the opportunity, I decided to make a separate peace with Acragas so that I'm only left with the Carthaginians to fight. You know, the Carthaginians can't just liberate them again from my occupation. And then I start thinking about my next moves, right? Well, one, obviously, I need more troops. You know, I'm not gonna conquer Carthage with just a few thousand soldiers I have, and of course, some troops have glitched onto the island where there's some Carthaginians just chilling. But I decided to send some troops out to take out the Carthaginian troops that were in the ocean. In the ocean? What? In the Mediterranean Sea. And so I consider invading Carthage, the main city. But I was wondering, like, where I should go next. You know, whether I should attack some of the surrounding islands first, or whether I should go directly for Carthage. Now, the thing about the surrounding islands, though, is that they had no supply. So I decided to go there first and quickly build a port so that any Carthaginian reinforcements that would arrive on this island would immediately be defeated, and I would only need a small, like, fraction of my forces to make it successful. Meanwhile, I started massing another set of troops in Sicily, because you know that was where my main invasion of Carthage was going to take place. But until then, I'd be conquering the island of Sardinia, and of course Corsica right afterwards. So now I've started massing troops on the sea right outside of Carthage, and I sent an attack. And shockingly enough, it was successful. The Carthaginians did not have enough troops to block me off and stop me. So I just started expanding as rapidly as I could from the city of Carthage itself. Now, they did have some troops towards the south, but again, I could easily encircle my way around those guys if I wanted to. And so I just continued on around them and attacking them as well. See, the good thing about Bloody Europe 2, and by the way, this marks the first time of I'm playing this mod on this channel, by the way, guys. So, very historic moment. I know people have, I remember comments have requested that I play this mod for a very long time, but I never ended up doing so because, well, I wanted to focus on the Second Great War and so on. But I'm finally doing it. I'm finally doing this mod, and I'm glad to start off with a bang, like the First Punic War. You know, I wish the Second Punic War was there, but to be fair, it would be much the same. So, yeah. Anyways, I basically take over all of mainland Carthage and start making my way into Massalia. Is it Massalia? I think it's Massalia. Yeah, it's Massalia. Okay. Also, my ally of Syracuse took like a single province in Corsica. I don't know. That kind of annoyed me. They just came in the end and took a province. Yeah, but anyways, I'm getting most of the war score in the end, and so I continue my conquest of the Carthaginian mainland. But I send a contingent of soldiers all over to Spain, where their next major territories are. And so now, and then I managed to completely capitulate Massalia, so taking out yet another Carthaginian ally completely. And so the next steps were just me clearing out the rest of mainland Carthage, specifically their territories in Libya. And as I was doing that, this Carthaginian unit was like in the ocean, continuously, repeatedly attacking me. So I started sending troops to try to get rid of them. Meanwhile, that part really annoyed me actually. Yeah, they managed to naval invade. They managed to naval invade and split some of my forces off. So now my troops got encircled So that became a rush to try save those units before the Carthaginians destroyed them. And they started expanding in all directions, actually, so I got really concerned. But, I was going to try my best. And also, the thing about Carthage in this map, at least, is like they have so many disconnected territories in North Africa, like Algeria region, which are just, single provinces here and there. Like, I wonder if that actually mirrors. Like, I get that it's meant to like mirror their trading posts, but I remember finding it kind of annoying to continuously naval attack them. Anyways, we were also making. I was also making progress in Spain. Uh, and just like that, Carthage was capitulated. They finally gave up. Now you might be wondering, hey, why is there a rest of this video? Well, you'll see. So after making a separate peace with Massalia, the Carthaginian ally, right? I annexed as much of Carthage as I could, as much of mainland Carthage as I could. However, I did not have enough score to annex everything, which pissed me off because kind of pissed me off because I didn't really know what to do with the remaining score because I had so little, and then I just had to take some of the small provinces, and then Syracuse took one province, which again annoyed me, and then the Carthaginians refused my deal. So then I was like, okay, well now I have to do it all over again. I don't know why they even refused the deal. They're literally dead. I don't know what they were hoping to. I don't know what they were hoping to change, but they're literally dead. So I decided, okay, I gotta make the deal again. And instead, I took the Corsica and Sardinia instead. Much closer to home, right? And I even took the two of the Balearic Islands as well, and a single province in Spain. And that deal they accepted. I don't know the mentality, but that deal they accepted. And now I was the uncontested superpower in the Mediterranean. But I was not the only superpower in the Mediterranean, because Carthage is still alive, and we need to get rid of them if we're gonna be lore accurate Rome, right? And getting the conquest of Carthage wasn't all peaceful. They had a revolt straight out of the city of Tunis. These Carthaginian loyalists revolted against Rome, and they were very quickly crushed. Very quickly crushed. And yeah, no, so the rest of this was just me trying to like garrison the rest of this, like, try to prevent any rebellions. I had some troops trapped in Iberia because I made the peace deal too early. Iberia and Morocco. Yeah, just made the peace deal too early. But you'll see how those troops become useful during the next invasion when I properly settle the score and take over Carthage for good. But for now, I just spent this time assimilating. And the thing about Bloody Europe 2 is as well, like, assimilation is much more different than in the base game, because the base game it's like 50 turns. Here it's the maximum is 150, so the cost and also the population sizes are like, actually no, here the population size is small, but like when you get to the bigger population sizes, the cost becomes like astronomical. And even here the cost of assimilating is really high. And one thing that annoyed me, and this annoyed me during the war, but it annoyed me later as well, is that Syracuse, they try to take some of my glory, right? By taking that one province that they did not earn, which pissed me off. So I kicked them out of my alliance and then invaded them, because there can only be one power in the island of Sicily, and that power is Rome. And so it was a relatively quick invasion. They just fell, and yeah, I annexed the whole thing, including their one province over that did. No, wait, no, I don't think they took that province. Never mind. Point is, I took them over. Now I'm really the uncontested power in the center Mediterranean. But yeah, and so the rest of this was just spent assimilating more and more because I don't want any rebellions, not at least until the next war. I mean, what? No, that doesn't make any sense. That statement doesn't make any sense. Forget what I just said. And yeah, no, it was kind of annoying to get every single province because especially when there's these tiny islands too. And you know, one thing I remember about Bloody Europe too being told to me was that like, oh my goodness, like the number of provinces is so insane. And yeah, no, it is. I remember like, I remember being shocked the first time I was playing it. And so yeah, now that I was largely done assimilating, there were very few unstable provinces. I massed my troops in the city of Carthage, and decided that now it's time for round two. And Carthage was still had their allies, but I mean their allies were dead. And so I started splitting my forces and launching simultaneous naval invasions everywhere all at once. And those troops that got stuck inside of Carthaginian territory, yeah, well, they came in handy because they allowed me to attack behind the lines. But now there was an issue. These troops were now trapped and encircled, while my main force was on the, that little tip of Iberia that I'd annexed earlier. And so now my struggle was to unite the fronts, right? And luckily I was able to be successful, right? The Carthaginians were not able to split my forces up again. And in fact, I was able to encircle them. And there was also another struggle down below in North Africa to try get the Carthaginian capital, which was a little bit harder. I did not have enough troops in that area. But with some reinforcements, I was able to take that capital over. And so now all that was left was just to mop up whatever remained of their empire, their pathetic little merchant empire. Sorry, that might be a little mean, but mop up whatever remains of their empire. And so in just about a bit, you'll see. There was only just a few more provinces that needed to be taken for them to finally capitulate to Rome. And with those final provinces, yeah, they finally gave up. I think they knew, they called it a day. I think they called it a day. And so just like that, Rome has come out on top to become the undisputed power of the Mediterranean. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.